Hello everyone, we are pleased to welcome you to this meeting presenting Wavestone's revenue of the fiscal year 2021-2022. Today, the speakers are Pascal Imbert, co-founder and CEO of Wavestone. Hello Pascal.
Hello Justine, hello everyone.
And Laurent Stoupy, CFO of Wavestone. Hello Laurent.
Justine, hello everyone.
Laurent, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Justine. And let me start with Wavestone's activity in Q4 2021-2022. Revenue was 129.9 million euro over the quarter, up 9% compared with Q4 in the previous fiscal year. At constant scope, so excluding Everest Group Consulting, Wavestone, and New Vantage Partners, at constant rates of exchange, organic growth was 5%. For the whole year, 21-22, total revenue showed sustained growth of 13%, taking it for 470.1 million euro, above our objective of 462 million euro. At constant scope and exchange rates, growth stood at 10%. Note that over the fiscal year as a whole, the working day impact was positive and stood at 1.1%. As we expected, the utilization rate fell slightly in Q4 to stand at 75%. This was due to high numbers of new starters in the second half of the fiscal year, as well as a slight increase in COVID-19 related absences in Q4. Over the whole year, 2021-2022, the consultant utilization rate stood at a solid level of 77%, compared with 71% a year earlier, and higher than the 75% level that we initially targeted. Turning to sales prices, the positive momentum was confirmed in Q4. Taking the year as a whole, the average daily rate was 854 euros compared to 842 euros a year earlier. It should be noted that the acquisitions of Everest Group Consulting, Wavestone, and New Vantage Partners contributed 7 euros to these prices. With a good level of order intake in Q4, which has not suffered from the tense geopolitical situations, the order book continued to grow. It's reached 4.3 months of work at the end of March, compared with 4.1 months at the end of December. In terms of human resources, we saw a sustained pace of recruitment throughout the year. Wavestone hired nearly 1,000 employees, exceeding our target of 900 new starters. This strong momentum enabled us to offset the increase in staff turnover rate, which stood at 18% at the end of March 2022, compared with 11% last year. However, we set the objective of keeping turnover levels to about 15% over the 2022-2023 fiscal year. At the end, Wavetone's workforce increased by 279 people over the year, reaching 3,732 employees at March 21st, 2022. We are also pleased to have been recognized again as a great place to work in 2022. For the first time, Wavestone took first place in the ranking of companies with over 2,500 employees in France, and we achieved third place in the category for companies with 50 to 100 employees in Luxembourg. More broadly, across the entire firm in all countries, 86% of our employees consider Wavestone to be a great place to work. This very satisfying result is a clear recognition of the firm's numerous initiatives in terms of human resources. Pascal, I give you the floor.
Thank you, Laurent. Looking beyond the figures for the quarter, this evening's call is also an opportunity to highlight the acquisition in France of the consulting firm Nomadeis. Nomadeis is a firm specializing in the environment and social responsibility, which has been supporting companies and public sector institutions for 20 years in their energy, environmental, and social transitions. Our objective is to combine Nomadeis' CSR expertise with Wavestone's skills to develop a leading position in sustainable development consulting in line with our impact strategic plan. Nomadeis achieved an annual revenue of around 1.9 million euros at end March 2022, an increase of 28% year-on-year with break-even profitability. We've acquired a 100% stake in Nomadeis for a purchase price of 2.8 million euros in enterprise value. Nomadeis was acquired beginning of April and will be consolidated in Wavestone accounts from April 1st, 2022. Let me say a few words now about the outlook for the 2022-2023 fiscal year that has just begun. We intend to continue our growth over the course of this new fiscal year, whether that's organic growth, which we want to maintain at a rate above 5%, or external growth, where our objective is to make new acquisitions. Here, the US and the UK remain the priorities, but that doesn't rule out more technical acquisitions in France. Beyond growth, one of our challenges of the year will be our ability to negotiate inflation. In this context, we'll ensure that our salary policy is properly adjusted during the year so that we can maintain our competitiveness and ability to attract and retain the best talent. And in parallel, we'll be working to continue to increase our sales prices, while, of course, using the additional level of recruitment to manage our price-to-salary ratio. The other challenge of the year is the rise of uncertainty about economic conditions, especially given the conflict in Ukraine, a backdrop that calls for increased vigilance and against which we are maintaining an intense pace of business development activity to build resilience against a potential downturn. To conclude this review then, as we've seen, our 2021-2022 fiscal year was marked by excellent levels of business activity. After the shock of 2020, we resumed a sustained pace of growth right from the start of the fiscal year. Consultant utilization rate reached a high level, above our normative rate of 75%. And we've exceeded our stabilization objective in terms of sales prices, given that our prices have indeed started their recovery during the financial year. This good news has led us once again to raise our profitability target. We are now aiming for an EBIT margin of above 15.5% for the 2021-2022 fiscal year, against an initial target of 13%, which was raised to 15% last December. As a reminder, this objective takes into account the consolidation of the acquisitions made during the financial year. When the annual results are published on May 31st, we will, of course, take a more detailed look at these figures, and we'll also share our outlook and financial objectives for the new fiscal year. That's all what we wanted to comment about our annual revenue publication of today, and we'll be happy now to answer any questions you might have.
You can now ask your questions. To do so, please unmute your mic. And if there is no question, Pascal, I'll let you conclude.
I think that maybe we've been crystal clear, especially Laurent, as usual. Now let me thank you for your presence to this call of tonight. I remind you that we will publish our annual results in a detailed fashion at the end of May, the 31st of May. We will be at this stage able to comment not only the past fiscal year, but give a more precise outlook and financial targets for the upcoming year, upcoming financial year, 2022-2023. Thank you very much once again for your presence, and have a good day. Talk to you soon.
Goodbye.